Have you ever experienced blame shifting? Ever found yourself apologizing when you were not at fault? Welcome to the complex world of blame shifting, a subtle yet potent form of manipulation that leaves you questioning your own reality. Imagine a scenario where you confront a friend about a hurtful comment, only to find yourself apologizing for being too sensitive. Or perhaps you've had a disagreement with your partner, and by the end of the conversation, you're apologizing for something unrelated. If this sounds familiar, you may have been a victim of blame shifting. Blame shifting is an art often mastered by narcissists, a crafty way of keeping themselves on a pedestal while making others feel small and guilty. It's like a magician's trick where they divert your attention from their actions and make you focus on your perceived faults. This psychological sleight of hand is more than just a refusal to acknowledge wrongdoing. It's a calculated move to deflect responsibility and maintain control. The narcissist, the artist of this blame-shifting game, masterfully paints a picture where they are the innocent party, and you, the one raising concerns, are the aggressor. The victims, often left bewildered, start doubting their own perceptions and feelings. They find themselves in a whirlwind of guilt and confusion, apologizing for things they didn't do, accepting blame for situations they didn't create. This guilt trip is the narcissist's ticket to maintaining power and control. But why does the victim end up feeling guilty? It's because the narcissist exploits the victim's weaknesses and insecurities, turning the tables and making them feel as though they are at fault. It's a potent mix of guilt, manipulation, and power dynamics, all aimed at keeping the narcissist in control. And so we find ourselves entangled in this web of guilt, spun by none other than narcissists. But why do narcissists resort to blame shifting? What drives them? You see, at the core of blame shifting lies a narcissist's desire to maintain power and control. This form of manipulation is a well-calculated strategy aimed at ensuring the narcissist remains on top always. It's like a game of chess where the narcissist is constantly maneuvering to keep their king safe, while simultaneously launching attacks on their opponent. Imagine a scenario where a narcissist has made a mistake. Now, in a healthy dynamic, one would expect an apology or an acceptance of responsibility. However, a narcissist perceives this as a threat to their superiority and control. So instead of owning their actions, they resort to blame shifting, a clever deflection of responsibility. Blame shifting is not a random act. It's an intentional tactic, a subtle art that exploits the victim's weaknesses and insecurities. By making the victim feel guilty or at fault, the narcissist successfully diverts the spotlight from their own shortcomings. It's a tactic that is as cunning as it is destructive. What's more, this manipulation often leaves the victim in a state of confusion and self-doubt. They end up questioning their own actions and beliefs, while the narcissist remains unscathed, their image untarnished. This is exactly what the narcissist wants: to be absolved of any wrongdoing while leaving the victim feeling guilty and responsible. But here's the most disturbing part. The victim often ends up apologizing or trying to placate the narcissist. This reinforces the narcissist's sense of superiority and control, further fueling the cycle of blame shifting. It's a downward spiral that leaves the victim feeling powerless and the narcissist more powerful than ever. In essence, blame shifting is a power play, a game where the narcissist always aims to win. It's a psychological warfare that is deeply rooted in the narcissist's desire to control, manipulate, and avoid taking responsibility for their actions. So, how do you identify blame shifting when it happens? Well, blame shifting, like many forms of manipulation, can often be subtle and hard to recognize, especially when it's something you've been conditioned to accept. The first thing to understand is that blame shifting exploits your weaknesses and insecurities. It's a tactic that aims to make you feel guilty or at fault, even when you're not. So the first sign of blame shifting is often a feeling of unease, guilt, or discomfort that seems disproportionate to the situation. Let's delve into some common examples of blame shifting. One of the most prevalent tactics is deflecting responsibility. This might look like someone making a mistake and then saying something like, "Well, if you hadn't distracted me, I wouldn't have messed up." They've shifted the blame from their mistake onto your supposed distraction. Another common tactic is gaslighting, where the blame shifter manipulates you into questioning your own memory, perception, or sanity. They might insist that an event didn't happen the way you remember it, or that you're being too sensitive or misinterpreting their actions. This can be incredibly disorienting and damaging, as it can lead you to doubt your own experiences and perceptions. A third tactic is playing the victim. The blame shifter might twist the narrative so that they're the one who's been wronged and you're the one who owes them an apology. They might say something like, "I only acted that way because you upset me," shifting the focus from their behavior to your supposed wrongdoing. These tactics are just a few examples of how blame shifting can manifest. It's important to remember that it's not about you, but about the blame shifter's desire to maintain power and control. Recognizing these signs is the first step towards breaking free from the cycle of blame shifting. Before we explain the best ways to deal with blame shifting, we urge you to subscribe to our channel for more insights about narcissism. Our series on narcissism is an in-depth exploration into the mind of a narcissist, designed to equip you with the knowledge and tools to protect yourself and your loved ones. If you're finding our content valuable, don't forget to click on the like button to let us know the information is helpful. We also encourage you to share our videos with your network. It's an easy way to help others who may be dealing with similar situations. And we're not just here to talk to you, we want to hear from you too. Drop us a comment below, share your thoughts, your experiences, or any queries you may have. Let's create a community of support and understanding, because remember, you're not alone in this journey. Stay tuned as we unravel the best ways to handle a narcissist's world. So you've identified the blame shifting, but how do you deal with it? This is a question that often follows the recognition of blame shifting in one's life. It's a complex issue, but fear not. We have some strategies that can help. Firstly, it's essential to understand that you are not responsible for someone else's actions. No matter how much a blame shifter tries to pin their mistakes on you, remember that their actions are their own. Next, try to maintain your composure. A blame shifter's goal is often to provoke a reaction, to make you defensive. If you can stay calm and composed, you'll be better able to handle the situation. Thirdly, practice assertiveness. This doesn't mean being aggressive or confrontational, but rather standing up for your rights in a respectful way. You can say something like, "I understand your viewpoint, but I don't agree. I believe that the responsibility for this lies with you." Fourthly, set boundaries. This can be challenging, especially if the blame shifter is someone close to you, but it's crucial for your mental health. You might say, "I won't tolerate being blamed for things I didn't do. If this continues, I'll need to distance myself from this relationship." Lastly, seek support. Dealing with blame shifters can be draining, and it's okay to ask for help. Reach out to trusted friends, family, or a mental health professional. They can provide perspective, advice, and emotional support. One thing to remember is that it's not about winning an argument, it's about preserving your well-being. You might not be able to change a blame shifter's behavior, but you can change how you react to it. And most importantly, don't let a blame shifter's tactics make you doubt your worth or your reality. Their behavior is a reflection of their issues, not a verdict on your character. Remember, no one has the right to make you feel guilty for their wrongdoings. Stand strong in your truth, and you'll navigate through the storm of blame shifting with resilience and grace. Blame shifting is a toxic behavior, but you have the power to resist it. As we reach the end of our exploration on narcissists and the art of blame shifting, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned. This journey has taken us deep into the mind of the narcissist, where we've witnessed the intricate mechanisms they use to sidestep accountability and place the burden of their actions onto others. We've talked about the psychology behind blame shifting, a form of manipulation that narcissists often resort to. It's crucial to remember that this tactic is driven by the narcissist's need to maintain control and avoid taking responsibility for their actions. It's a subtle, yet powerful strategy that exploits the victim's insecurities and weaknesses, making them feel guilty or at fault. We also discussed how to recognize blame shifting. This is a vital first step in disrupting the power dynamics at play. Remember, the key is to identify persistent patterns of behavior that aim to deflect responsibility. It could be a recurring tendency to turn the tables during a conversation, or a habit of making you feel responsible for their mistakes. The next step we highlighted is dealing with blame shifting. This is not an easy task, but it's far from impossible. You have the power to stand up to such manipulation. Being assertive, setting boundaries, and seeking professional help when needed can equip you with the tools to resist the narcissist's tactics. And finally, we want to emphasize that you're not alone. We're here to help, and this video is just one part of our series focused on narcissism. We encourage you to subscribe for more insights and strategies to deal with narcissistic behaviors. But remember, each journey is unique, and the first step towards change is always the hardest. It requires courage, resilience, and the willingness to confront the uncomfortable. So let's start this journey together. Which strategies will you work on first to counter blame shifting? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We love to hear from you.